There was a time when the future of food meant flying cars and silver packets. When every 1950s kitchen magazine promised meals made in pill form, and children dreamed of dinner appearing with the push of a button. We didn't get quite that world, at least, not yet. But in quiet labs, greenhouses, and kitchens around the globe, the seeds of that dream are being planted again. This time, it's not just about convenience. It's about survival. By the year 2050, our planet will feed over 9 billion people. Land will be scarcer, climates harsher, and the idea of food, what we grow, what we eat, what we even call food, will evolve in ways our grandparents could never have imagined. Yet, as with every leap forward, something familiar lingers. Behind every lab-grown steak and edible algae wafer lies a story of human persistence, the same hunger that once built ovens from stone and plows from wood. We are still, at our core, gatherers, only now, we gather innovation. So tonight, we'll look ahead, not to what we'll lose, but to what we might gain. From protein spun from air to milk made without cows, these aren't science fiction dreams anymore. They're prototypes, menus in waiting, quietly reshaping the way our grandchildren will dine. And while the future may taste different, it will still tell a story about who we are, what we value, and how we adapt. So settle in, open your mind, and let's take a look forward at 10 futuristic foods we'll be eating by 2050. Number 1. Air protein, turning thin air into food. It sounds impossible, food made from air. But so did flight, once. The story of air protein begins not in a kitchen, but in the void, during NASA's experiments in the 1960s. Scientists searched for ways to feed astronauts on long missions using only what was available in space. Their idea was simple, almost biblical: turn carbon dioxide, the very air we exhale, into nourishment. Half a century later, that forgotten concept was reborn. Using microbes that consume carbon and hydrogen, modern researchers have found a way to create a flour-like protein from thin air, literally. It's rich in amino acids, tasteless, and endlessly renewable. A food born without soil, sunlight, or slaughter. What makes air protein so powerful isn't just its science. It's its poetry, the idea that our waste breath can sustain life. That humanity, once blamed for polluting the planet, could one day feed it instead. But from the invisible comes the tangible. If air protein redefines what food is, our next innovation changes how it's made. Let's talk about meat, without the meat. Number 2. Lab-grown meat, the end of the slaughterhouse. For centuries, meat was a symbol of power. Kings feasted on it, peasants dreamed of it. But behind every steak lies a cost we rarely see: land, water, and life itself. In 2013, a small lab in the Netherlands cooked something no one had ever eaten before: a hamburger grown entirely from cow cells, no animal killed. It cost over $300,000 to make. Yet, it was the first spark of a revolution. Lab-grown meat, or cultured meat, grows animal muscle in nutrient-rich fats, mimicking the real thing molecule by molecule. Within years, its cost dropped to under $10 a serving. Today, pilot restaurants are already serving it, not imitation, but genuine meat without the moral burden. What makes it remarkable is its dual legacy. It fulfills humanity's oldest appetite, for meat, while satisfying our newest one, for mercy. It's not science fiction anymore. It's dinner. And as the world's appetite grows, so does the question of choice. If we can print our own food, what will we choose to make? Our next stop is the printer kitchen, where nutrition becomes design. Number 3. 3D printed meals, customized nutrition at home. Once upon a time, recipes were handed down. Now, they're downloaded. In futuristic kitchens, a quiet hum replaces the sizzle of a frying pan. Instead of flour and butter, cartridges filled with pureed ingredients, proteins, and nutrients slide into a sleek countertop printer. One tap, and your dinner takes shape, layer by layer. 3D printed meals are more than novelty. They're precision food, able to create perfect textures, customized calorie counts, and personalized vitamins for each person. Elderly patients can enjoy soft, flavorful food that looks and tastes normal again. Athletes can print meals balanced to the exact gram of protein they need that day. And the artistry? It's returning, too. Chefs use digital sculpting tools to create edible sculptures, food as architecture, food as story. But as food becomes code, the soul of cooking feels different. We used to say a meal was made with love. Now, it's made with data. Still, there's comfort in color and life. Because while printers hum in kitchens, something green is quietly growing nearby, not in soil, but in stacked glass towers reaching for the sky. Number 4. Algae burgers, the green revolution on a bun. It doesn't look like much, a thick green patty, earthy and bright, but algae burgers may be the most revolutionary meal of the 21st century. During the 1970s energy crisis, NASA again looked to algae, microscopic plants that thrive on sunlight, CO2, and little else. Scientists saw it as the food of the future, high in protein, packed with iron, and capable of growing where crops cannot. 50 years later, that dream is back. Spirulina and chlorella are now being crafted into savory burger patties, protein powders, even pasta. 1 acre of algae can produce 20 times more protein than an acre of soy, with zero deforestation. It's a reminder that sometimes, the answers to tomorrow's hunger lie in yesterday's experiments. And the flavor? Surprisingly rich, with a hint of the ocean that once sustained life on Earth. But feeding the planet isn't just about what we eat, it's about where we grow it. And as fields vanish beneath cities, the future of farming is looking up, literally. Number 5. Vertical farm produce, skyscrapers that feed cities. In the heart of tomorrow's cities, farms will rise where factories once stood. Inside glass towers, rows of lettuce, tomatoes, and herbs glow under LED light, roots suspended in mist, never touching soil. Vertical farming began as a dream of scientists who wanted to bring agriculture into urban life. It promised something ancient and new, food grown steps away from where it's eaten. No pesticides. No droughts. No seasons. Just clean, year-round abundance. Today, vertical farms already supply produce to major cities, fresher, faster, and with 95% less water than traditional agriculture. By 2050, these glowing towers could feed millions without a single plow touching the earth. And yet, there's a strange nostalgia to it, green fields replaced by silent stacks, buzzing under white light. A future where nature is not in the soil, but in the circuit. Still, as we bring the farm indoors, we must also bring the wildness back to our plates. And that's where our next story begins, with 6 legs and a crunch. Number 6. Edible insects, the protein of the planet. It's a sound we've long associated with the wild, the quiet chirp of crickets. But by 2050, it may also be the sound of dinner being made. For centuries, insects have been part of diets in Africa, Asia, and South America. Packed with protein, iron, and essential fats, they were nature's perfect supplement long before protein bars existed. Yet, in the Western world, we turned away, perhaps too squeamish to see what others already knew. Now, with land and water resources running thin, scientists and chefs are rediscovering what ancient cultures never forgot. Crickets ground into flour, mealworms baked into pasta, grasshoppers seasoned into chips, foods that are nutritious, sustainable, and surprisingly delicious. There's something humbling about this return, humanity coming full circle, finding the extraordinary in the small. And while the idea may still raise eyebrows, the first generation to grow up on insect snacks won't think twice. But as we look to the tiniest creatures for sustenance, another movement is taking shape, one that removes the animal altogether, yet keeps the taste alive. Let's pour a glass of tomorrow's milk. Number 7. Synthetic dairy, milk without cows. Once, the sound of milk meant morning, glass bottles clinking on doorsteps, fields of grazing cows under a sunrise sky. But soon, milk might not come from cows at all. Through a process called precision fermentation, scientists have learned to program microbes to produce casein and whey, the very proteins that make milk, milk. The result? Dairy products that taste, cook, and froth exactly like the real thing, because on a molecular level, they are the real thing. Just without the animal. It's a quiet revolution already happening in labs across California and Europe. Cheese, yogurt, even ice cream made without methane, manure, or milking machines. The nostalgia it evokes is unmistakable, comfort food reimagined through compassion and chemistry. It asks a simple, powerful question: if we can enjoy tradition without harm, why wouldn't we? And while our farms become factories of fermentation, another frontier emerges, not on land, but in the deep, untamed oceans. That's where the next harvest begins. Number 8. Seaweed snacks and ocean crops, farming the future sea. When land gives way, the sea provides. And as climate change swallows farmland, scientists have turned to the world's largest and most ancient garden, the ocean. Kelp, sea lettuce, and red algae are becoming the new wheat and corn of the deep. Grown in sprawling underwater farms, these sea crops absorb carbon, purify water, and grow without fertilizers. They're rich in protein, omega-3s, and vitamins, the building blocks of tomorrow's nutrition. Already, seaweed snacks are trending in global markets. But by 2050, kelp noodles, algae steaks, and ocean-grown flour could become everyday staples. It's a story as old as time, the sea feeding the shore. Only now, it's not fishermen who cast nets, but farmers who plant lines beneath the waves. And while oceans sustain us, technology personalizes us. Because the next meal might not just feed your stomach, it could listen to your body. Number 9. Smart food capsules, personalized nutrition in a bite. Imagine this: you wake up, and your breakfast already knows what your body needs. That's the vision of smart food capsules, nutrient-dense, data-driven, and tailored to your biology. Using nanotechnology and biofeedback, these capsules will adjust to your health in real time, providing vitamins, protein, even hydration based on your daily rhythm. Think of it as a meal that understands you better than your doctor ever could. It's a radical idea, one part medicine, one part cuisine. But it stems from the same human impulse that once invented the multivitamin or the energy bar, the desire to make nourishment simple, efficient, and personal. Still, in all our pursuit of the future, there's something stirring in the background, a quiet rebellion. Because not everyone wants food printed, processed, or predicted. Some believe the future of eating lies not ahead, but behind. And that's where our story ends, in the fields of memory. Number 10. The return of heritage grains, ancient foods for a future Earth. In the race toward innovation, some have chosen to look back. To rediscover the grains that fed empires long before the word sustainability existed. Millet, amaranth, sorghum, and einkorn, ancient grains that survived drought, heat, and time itself. Farmers around the world are reviving them, not out of nostalgia, but necessity. Their resilience may hold the key to feeding a planet on the brink. Once dismissed as poor man's crops, these grains are now luxury, prized for their nutrition and flavor. But more than that, they remind us of something essential, that survival has always meant listening to the earth. In 2050, our tables may glow with lab-grown meat, 3D printed pastries, and algae bread. But next to them, a simple bowl of heritage grain may stand, unchanged for thousands of years. Because progress doesn't always mean leaving the past behind. Sometimes, it means returning to the roots that never failed us.